Good morning, Flosstube. This is Lynette at Homesteading on the Homefront. It is Wednesday, November 8th, 2023, and this is episode number 70. So, as you can see, I have a different background. Husband is working from home, and so I am at a different location waiting for somebody to show up to give me some estimates. So I said, while I'm waiting, I'm going to film a Flosstube. So much to talk about. The last time I filmed was October 10th. So, hey, just about a month. That's pretty good for me. But it's been a busy month. We had the Stitch New England retreat in October, which was amazing. However, since I'm so late filming, there have been many recaps. So I'm not going to do another one. Helen D did a great one. Chris and Jane at the Boss Stitchers. There were several Flosstubers there. So go check them out. It was a great retreat. Everyone had a great time. The number one comment that I've heard from people is that it did not feel like there were almost 300 people in the room. The acoustics were great. There were 6 at a table. The tables were spread out, so it was very easy to get around. It felt like a much smaller retreat, and everyone had a great time. Last weekend, we had Stitchin' at the Farm at the Inn at East Hill in Troy, New Hampshire. And that's an annual retreat that I wouldn't miss for the world. And so I did get some stitching done there, and I will show you what I did. I have some haul and some finishes, and let's just get down to it. So the first finish I have is from the Scarlet House. This is what it looks like. It's teeny, teeny, tiny. And I changed our initials so that they were in orange. And somehow, I think I'm going to finish it on this pumpkin that I got at the now defunct Christmas tree shop. So maybe it'll get done in time for Thanksgiving. Maybe it'll stay unfinished until next fall. Who knows? All right, the next finish I have is a gift. So if I birthed you, you're not allowed to watch till Christmas. All right, so I was watching, I don't know who I was watching, and they showed this design by Kathy Haberman. It's a freebie. I think it originally said like spells and do I have it? I don't even think I have it. It's a freebie on the Fat Quarter Shop. I looked everywhere for it. It's not on Kathy Haberman's website. You have to go to the Fat Quarter Shop website. I forgot what it originally said, but having a child who is waiting to hear back on college acceptances, wanting to major in chemistry, I realized that I could change it and make it into a Christmas ornament for her. So that's what I did. I changed the colors to maroon and gold. And instead of, I don't know what it said, spells and something, I made it say girls in STEM because there was a group of girls in her AP chemistry class. And that's what they had named their group chat on whatever application they used to chat with each other. It was named Girls in STEM. So I figured that would be a good Christmas ornament and reminder of her high school chemistry. I have another finish. I have been working for a while on getting all of the states that we lived in cross-stitched. And I finished Illinois. So that's what it looks like. I thought I had 3 more to go, but my math was wrong because after Illinois, we lived in Virginia and then we moved to Guam and then we came back to Massachusetts. Well, I was in Massachusetts. My husband was in Rhode Island, and both of those states have already been cross-stitched. So I have Virginia and Guam to go. Historically, I have been able to stitch 2 a year. So maybe I will finish the whole series in 2024. This year, Illinois was the only state that I got done. So maybe it'll be 2025. Who knows? So those are my FOs. I mentioned I got some stitching done at Stitching at the Farm. And I will show you my Live on Little. Now, last year at Stitching at the Farm, this was a start. A bunch of us started it there. And all I did for hours and hours and hours was the dark part of this roof. So everything that you see has been stitched since last year. And so I've done a lot of retreat stitching. I also did, this was my Monogamania piece. So a lot of it got done. I still need to do a lot, obviously, but at Stitching at the Farm, I started filling in the dark blue, and I only had like the teeniest bit done. So as you can see, I got a fair amount of the dark blue stitched. So I think this one is going to go away now. I'm a very seasonal stitcher, and this reads spring and summer to me. So I think it's going to go away until my first retreat of next year, which is in April. And I will bring it out then. And I think I will do another Monogamania on it. It has to be done next year because I dated it in Nautical Flags 2024. So that's what I'm hoping for. At Stitch New England, Stacy, my friend Stacy and I, you might remember her if you've been around for a while, we stitched His Eyes on the Sparrow together. So she and Amy Gable Stitcher and I started at home together. And what did I stitch on? Brown roof. So I outlined it. I didn't consider that a start. I outlined the roof so I could fill in at Stitch New England, and I got precisely 1 row done. And so I worked on it some more for a morning at Stitching at the Farm. This to me is a nice cozy. It doesn't, I mean, there's nothing wintry about it, but I don't know about you, but in winter I want to be home. And so this will be a great piece to stitch on during the colder weather. This is a whip. I took it, marching band finals were this weekend, and little one was on with her high school marching band at 10:30 in the morning, and then eldest was performing an exhibition show with the Yukon marching band at 7 o'clock at night. So we were there the whole day because we weren't going to go see one kid and not the other. And I took some stitching with me. This is a quilt square that I designed. It's in honor of my friend Donna Ray, Flannel Jammies Farm. And so I was able to get all of the white background filled in. Now, it's going to look like this. I did a lot of quilt squares to go with this series. So I need to add the green and red border, and then I don't know if you can see it. There's a white border around it too. So I need to do that, and this one will be done. And then I had done this one, and I forget whose ornament this was in honor of, but I need to do the same for that. So that'll be some quick Christmassy stitching. Hopefully that if you've stitched the Farmhouse Christmas, that white border kills me. I end up frogging a lot. So I'm hoping it'll be a little easier. All right. My last whip. If I birthed you and you're the child that made me a mother, you can't watch either. My last whip is this guy. He is so adorable. Um, I had to redo this part. So this pattern came from Nenny Design Crafts, Neni Design Crafts on Etsy. And she has a bunch of these with different teams here. And so I bought the Buffalo Bills and I changed the colors so that they are Yukon colors. And so now it looks like it's kind of a finish. It's not. I have a lot of white to fill in, and then I need to do some back stitching, and then he'll be done. And then on this side, I am going to do another gnome that I bought from her that says God Jul, which is Swedish for Merry Christmas. My mom and I don't know if I talked about it in a previous video, but my mom and I were able to go to Sweden this summer. And so I really want to make that gnome ornament this year as a memento of our trip. And then next year, I will be doing him in a royal blue and orange, and there will be an S here because eldest has applied early decision to Syracuse, and we will all be quite surprised if she doesn't get in. So that's all that I've been stitching on. I do have some haul that I want to show you. I went to a new wool store in Sturbridge, Mass. It's called Yankee Woolworks. And he sells mostly pieces of wool for wool applique and wool yarn, etc. But he does have some Weeks dye works. And these are the same color, like the same colors that we're used to. But let me get my glasses on here. They're two different sizes. This is a 45-yard 2-strand roll. So when I stitch, I use 1 strand, which means out of a 5-yard skein that we're used to, that's 5 times 6 for me because it's 5 yards and there are 6 strands. So that's 30 yards. This one is 90 yards, right? Because it's 45 yards times 2 strands. And it was $5.50. So way cheaper than buying by the skein. This one is 30 yards, but it's 3 strands. So this is also 90, right? So they're the same number of strands in total. So I bought the Weeks colors that I know I need and will use. And some of them, actually many of them, are actually for the at-home project. But I bought a regular beige, Havana, guacamole, putty, schneckly, which is not my usual favorite color, but it is what it is, and dolphin. So I can't wait to use those and try them out. I'll let you know what I think. But it was interesting. I'd never seen these. I knew Weeks sometimes sold in 10-yard skeins, but I didn't know that they sold in these spools. So I'm going to try them and let you know. All right, as I was cleaning out, or not cleaning out, but sorting through my crap room, looking for a project that I still can't find the pattern. I came across this little gem. This was stitched by my husband's grandmother in 1987. So if any of you know anything about like who the designer might be, please let me know, because if there's maybe another companion lady to stitch, I would love to stitch her. All right. Sometimes I luck out at thrift stores. Found this piece for $1. I think I'm gonna change it into a project bag. So be on the lookout in like 25 years and I might have it made. And then this one was just yesterday. This was on it. It's a Bill's frame. So I got the scroll rod and 2 finished stockings for $1. These are dated 1993. So again, if you know anything about who the designer of these are, please let me know. And it's funny, several of you from seeing me stitching at retreats have commented, "Oh, I didn't know you stitched in hand," or "Oh, I didn't know you use Q-snaps," or "Oh, I will use whatever. If I'm stitching on linen, I need to have the holes open. So I will either use Q-snaps or a hoop or a scroll rod. Totally depends on the size of the fabric that I'm using and the size of the project that I'm stitching. And I will go back and forth between those. If I am stitching anything that's not a reproduction sampler, I tend to put it on 20 count Aida. That is my new favorite. The gnome is actually on 22 count Hardanger, just because I wanted to make him a little smaller for an ornament. But if I am stitching on 20 count Aida, I will stitch in hand, or I will stitch on a hoop, or it just doesn't matter. I won't stitch linen in hand. My eyes are too old for that. I can't do it. But 20 count Aida, I will stitch in hand. And otherwise, I have absolutely no preference between a hoop and scroll rods and Q-snaps. So that's that. I thought my camera just shut off on me, and it didn't. Thank goodness. Okay. So in my last video, I talked about plans for the rest of the year, and I showed you some Christmas ornaments by Mary Beale that I was hoping to stitch. I am still hoping to stitch them. However, I'm just not feeling, they're kind of muted, and I wanted something brighter to stitch on. And so I decided that this was the year I was going to begin a project that I've been thinking about for a while. I have I don't know what it is. It's a dome on a pedestal. I don't know if it's for crackers and cheese or pastries or whatever, but I have the dome on the pedestal, and I thought it would be really fun to cross stitch cookies to put under the dome for the Christmas season. And so I purchased from the same designer several charts. So they're supposed to be front and back. They're supposed to be like toys for kids. I'm not spending all that time stitching and then giving them to kids. So I'm definitely going to do this one. I don't know if I'm going to do the snowflake because it's not as colorful. And then I don't know that I printed out pictures of all the others. I did not. So I have a tree that's in the same look. It looks like a decorated sugar cookie. I have a snowman. I have a heart. And I have a reindeer. So they are all from this person on Etsy. They all have the same look, and they're all done on perforated paper. So last night, I got most of the colors together. There's a couple that I'm still using in the gnome. So I hope to get these started. I don't know if I'll work on the Swedish gnome first, just to make sure that I have that done in 2023, because we went to Sweden in 2023, or if I'll jump the gun and maybe start these. I don't have a lot of whips in the works. I know that I'm carrying over Live on Little. I know that I'm carrying over Dutch Beauty, and I know that I'm carrying over At Home into the new year. And 3 is the maximum for me. If you know me, you know that I don't like to have a lot of whips, and I especially don't like to carry over projects into the new year. So, I'm going to be working on getting these done and then the gnome done. And then we'll see if I want to start the cookies and the Swedish gnome or just do one thing at a time so that I know that it's done before January 1st. The perforated paper I will actually put on stretcher bars because it hurts my hands too much otherwise. And so that's what I'm anticipating for the rest of this year. I will do a video, I hope, talking about my plans for 2024. I have them set. I have, we decided, Stacy and Beth and I decided at Stitch New England that we're going to start a stitch along on the first day of spring. And so I will give you more information about that. So yeah, I will be back before the end of the year, and I will show you what I did for ornaments, and I will talk about my plans for 2024. And I will not do a whip parade because nobody, I mean, you saw all of my whips except for Dutch Beauty, which is very underwhelming at this point. So with that, it's a short video. Ooh, look at that, 22 minutes. I will say farewell. Happy Thanksgiving if you were in the States and I don't see you before then. But hopefully it'll be, before the end of the year. I'll be back. I'm trying to be good. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.